Good evening. I'd like to call the meeting to order, and we'll start with the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening. I'll have the clerk please call the roll.
Supervisor Fountain?
Here.
Treasurer Horning?
Here.
Clerk Chopu? Here. Trustee Collier?
Here.
Trustee Germain? Absent. Trustee Harper? Here. Trustee Petrucci? Here.
Thank you. Item number 4 is approval of our meeting agenda.
So moved. Second.
Support. Motion by Trustee Kalani, second by Treasurer Horning. Any discussion? Being none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion carries. Call to the public this evening. Anybody at call to the public? Being none, we'll move on to item number 6, which is approval of our consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Trustee Harper, second by Treasurer Horning. Any discussion?
You have a couple of small changes on the minutes. On the September 6th special meeting minutes, the adjournment was 6:25, should have been 6:55. And on the regular minutes for September 6th, under trash consolidation, we changed the wording of public hearings to public meetings to be consistent throughout the minutes. Those were the only two changes.
You support the change?
Yes.
And this second? Any other discussion on the consent agenda? Being none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion carries. Pending and new business, item number 7. This has been on discussion for the past several meetings. Number 8, it's 2017 sewer rate resolution.
I'll move to approve the attached resolution for 2017 sewer system rates.
I'll second that with a friendly amendment.
Motion by Trustee Kalani, second by Treasurer Horning with an amendment.
I'd like to strike in our packet, it's on page 45 and 55, strike this under payment options, the second option, which says check, credit card, debit card by phone. We no longer use that company. So that phone, that's invalid. Otherwise, it's good.
I have no problem with that.
Okay. Any discussion by the board?
Was that on the resolution or the ordinance?
It's on both. That's why I said page 45 and 55.
Yeah, the resolution amends the ordinance.
Right.
The document is the policy, which is separate from the ordinance. So we're correcting the policy language.
If there's no other discussion, I'll have the clerk please call the roll.
Trustee Harper?
Yes.
Trustee Collier?
Yes.
Treasurer Horning?
Yes.
Supervisor Fountain?
Yes.
Trustee Petrucci?
Yep.
Trustee Germain absent. Clerk Chopu, yes.
Thank you. Item number 7B is another program that's been on last several meetings, and it's our water and sewer use ordinance.
I'll move to approve the resolution adopting the water and sewer use ordinance and associated water and sewer rate policy.
Support.
Motion by Trustee Kalani, second by Trustee Harper. Any discussion?
So I missed this as well. The policy document that you were intending to correct was attached to this ordinance,
Right.
not to the rates. Yeah.
Right.
So,
It's page 55
Yeah.
on this.
Got it.
Yep.
Any other discussion? Being none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion carries. Item number C is ordinance rescinding the compensation commission.
Wasn't that a resolution?
I think we needed to do...
Is that a resolution?
Yeah, that was a
I'm sorry.
resolution. We need to do
It didn't say a resolution on the, just following the agenda. So, item number 7B, we had a motion and a support. Have the clerk please call the roll.
One item, though, I believe that should be ordinance 82. If I'm not mistaken, ordinance 81 was the previous water and sewer ordinance.
Oh, you mean resolution number?
Ordinance number.
First one was a resolution for...
The recommendation is moved to approve the resolution adopting ordinance 81, an ordinance rescinding the Hartland Township Compensation Commission. Ordinance number 81 was the previous ordinance that we just approved.
Right.
Right.
So this should be 82.
Well, we're backing up first.
We're back.
We're going backwards.
Right.
I have compensation next.
And had a roll call
We're still on 7B.
versus,
Okay.
because it's a resolution.
So we're on 7B.
We're on 7B.
For roll call.
So we're going to nix the roll call vote, and
On 7B.
then I'm going to, if there's no other discussion, I'm going to have you do a roll call vote.
Okay.
For the same, I think that was Harper and Horning, I believe on that.
Joe Klein.
Or Klein, Harper and
Klein. Yeah.
So with that, if there's no other discussion.
You need to read the resolution in
No. We don't read the
on
resolution.
behalf of it.
You can ask for it if you want.
We don't read
You
it
asking
normally.
for it? It's a resolution.
So Larry, you need to call the
adopting
roll call
Hartland
for
Township
7B.
Water and sewer ordinance and adopting associated water and sewer rate policy.
We still support.
Support it.
Okay, no other discussion. I'll have the clerk please call the roll.
Okay. Treasurer Horning,
Yes.
Trustee Petrucci,
Yes?
Trustee Harper,
Yes.
Trustee Collier,
Yes.
Supervisor Fountain,
Yes.
Clerk Chopu, yes. Trustee Germain, absent.
Thank you. Now, item 7C is ordinance rescinding compensation commission.
That's the one that should be 82,
Okay.
the ordinance.
All right, I'll move to approve the resolution adopting ordinance number 82, an ordinance rescinding the Hartland Township Compensation Commission ordinance.
I'll support that.
Motion by trustee Harper, second by trustee Kalani. Discussion. There was a question that Matt asked me to bring up. If this has to be advertised in the paper when it's rescinded. He didn't think so, but he was trying in the review from the attorney wasn't real clear on that.
Okay.
He didn't think it would have
It's
to be
not required.
published.
Certainly you could if you wanted to, not required by
It's not required by law. Okay, that was the question. Any other comments or questions? And is this a resolution as well?
No. Oh, yes.
It should be yes.
Yes, it is.
This is number 82. Correct?
Yes, 82.
The clerk please call the roll.
Supervisor Fountain,
Yes?
Treasurer Horning,
Yes.
Clerk Chopu, yes. Trustee Petrucci,
Yes.
Trustee Collier,
Yes.
Trustee Harper,
Yes.
Trustee Germain, absent.
Thank you. Item number 7D is well house control panels. Mr. West, good evening.
Good evening. This is not a resolution.
Thank you.
Request. What you have before you is a proposal for housing structures, which are precast concrete structures to house our well control panel enclosures. Historically we've had quite a few issues that are related to weather or temperature and have cost us VFDs. Our VFDs keep heating up or overheating, and we're having some issues with some rain as well because the cabinets aren't particularly sealed well. These enclosures were part of the approved water CIP and in fact come in under the allocated amount within the CIP. They are basically free of any future maintenance, being that they're completely made out of precast concrete. They are easy to sustain optimal climate, and it makes a safer work environment for the staff that have to enter those panels in the inclement weather. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions that you may have regarding these.
I move to approve the contract with Priest Companies for the construction of well house control panel enclosures and approve the budget amendment of $200 for depreciation.
How much are those well huts? enclosure is going to be? I know the budget says 40.
The CIP allocation was 40,000, but I believe it was just 38 and some change. And just to be clear, they're being purchased from a vendor, a local vendor in Milford, who manufactures the enclosures. Unfortunately, the cost to install them through that vendor was, we were able to find the cost cheaper by a local contractor. So the local contractor is not constructing them, and I probably should have made that more clear. I apologize. He's just installing these prefabricated structures on site.
So these came under your estimated?
Yes.
Pretty close, though.
They were pretty close.
It's worth noting, we did forward these to the Planning Commission Chair just to take a look at.
Absolutely. They did, they came with, I don't know what the proper word would, approval from the Planning Commission Chair as far as aesthetics, being out in the public viewpoint. They have the exposed aggregate concrete on them. Look like somewhat a nice utility building, a nice utility structure. They are not the steel painted that will rust or anything of that nature, so they'll look nice out there in the community as for a utility building.
So should the motion really say to approve the priest companies for the installation of well house, not construction?
You can say, yeah, I apologize for that. I could say installation. Basically, we have the cost. The cost is a pass-through, so it's just easier to pay one vendor versus two.
Okay. There was no second on it. I made the motion, but we don't have a
I'll second.
Okay, could you please reread the motion?
Sure. Approve the contract with priest companies for the installation of well house control panel enclosures and approve the budget amendment of $200 for depreciation.
And support.
So I had a motion by Treasurer Horning, second by Trustee Harper. Any discussion? Being none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Number 8 is board reports. We are in our second meeting in September. We start with Trustee Petrucci.
I'd just like to congratulate. First of all, I had the honor and I had the privilege of going up to the Kellogg Center at East Lansing with Mike Bernardin on last Thursday to the Society of Michigan Fire Marshals, and they were conducting a week-long seminar, training, meeting, so forth. And at the banquet meeting that was on Thursday, Mike was sworn in as the new president of the Michigan Fire Marshals Society. People were there from all over the state of Michigan and Illinois and Wisconsin, so it's a pretty good honor to have our fire marshal as the president of that society. So when you see Mike, just congratulate him. Just like to pass that on to the board.
Hey, we can give him a thumbs up in the operation report. He gets a copy of it, doesn't he?
He does.
Put a congratulations in there.
Thank you. Clerk Shofu.
November 8th election, the last day to register to vote in this election is October 11th. We should be getting in the ballots very shortly. First batch of absentee ballots will probably go out first week of October.
What's the process for absentee ballots, Larry?
You just need to call in or stop in to get an application to fill out. Once you fill out the application and send it back to us, we verify everything on the system with signatures and addresses and that you're at the proper precinct and that kind of thing. And we put you on the list to get the absentee ballot.
So they have to call and it'll be sent to the
They can call, they can stop in. It's on the website. The application's on the website also.
Can they fill it out on the website?
Yeah. I do not know about our website, but I know if you go to the Michigan.gov website, through that you can fill it out online there.
But you still have to sign it though, right?
Yes.
So.
And then it has to be either mailed in or dropped in the box in front. Yeah.
Very good. Okay, thank you.
I've got a question too. If you get a new job out of the state recently, can you still do an absentee ballot here if you live in a different state?
If you have not changed your address yet, yes.
Okay.
Once you change your address, there's an interstate communication that will remove you from our precinct through the state system.
Okay. So would they contact whoever they're living?
They would have to register wherever they now
Got
live.
it.
Yep.
Thank you.
Treasurer Horning?
Tax collection was ended on the 14th, so we've slowed down a little bit. It was kind of amazing this year. In the 8 work days that we had from September 1st to the 14th, we collected 69% of our tax roll. It's the first time that's happened, which is about 475 payments a day. And we didn't see that much increase at the counter, so it was mostly mail. I mean, we had stacks of mail. And now in the next 10 days, we'll be busy getting the new tax roll ready to send over to the county on September 30th. That's it for me.
Thank you. Trustee Kalani?
I have nothing.
Trustee Harper?
No report.
There's a county master plan that came through. Is somebody from the township going to be attending that, James?
Well, that was a question for the board. We had just got notice of it. We hadn't talked
Right.
about it yet.
Matt had asked me
Right.
to bring that up if anybody at the township level or at the board level.
Yeah, the county's updating their master plan. They're inviting 1 or 2 representatives. They encourage 2 from each municipality. It's on October 20th in the evening. So if there are any board members like to go or if want to extend.
The tough thing on that is if it's
Could be a
October,
retreat day.
it might be a retreat day as well.
That is one of our days we're looking at for retreat.
So it's a little early to maybe
Yeah.
to decide who's going to do that yet. Okay. And then Matt Germain, did you get that?
I just got it here.
But would you?
I can
you
read it.
highlight that in your report, or is there anything you can go through right now?
Well, he had asked, first he apologized that he couldn't be here tonight, and we had some updates from the Merit Energy Company issue that he wanted to make sure to put on the record with the groundwater investigation project underway. There was a public meeting we held in late July, and Merit Energy decided to increase the private well radius from a half mile to a mile. That is, everybody within a mile of the plant, they would have their water tested because so many people had expressed concern over that potential impact on their private well. Residents within that mile were notified by Merit by mail, and there were over 50 households that did respond. Those private wells were sampled last week, and the analytical results should be available by, I guess, the end of this week. And once received from Merit, the township will post the results on our website. Over 30 private wells were within the half-mile radius and had already been tested by Merit, and none of them had any detectable concentrations of sulfolane, so none of the additional 50-plus private wells are expected to show contamination either. And regarding the groundwater investigation at that former 5-acre site, permanent wells were installed in July and sampled shortly thereafter. The formal report of those groundwater conditions with recommendations for future tasks to begin the remediation technology selection is expected this week. Slug tests were performed to measure how quickly the groundwater moves through the deeper formations near the water table. And while the formal report is not available yet, Matt's conversations with a Merit official last week confirms that the impacted groundwater remains restricted to the former 5-acre site and has not extended past those original property lease boundaries. Furthermore, he notes that one monitoring well located toward the north edge of the 5-acre boundary reported as a non-detect in the most recent sampling, which continues a downward trend that was previously observed. Merit had previously proposed and MDEQ agreed to a quarterly sampling of the now dozen-plus permanent wells at the site. However, Merit wants confirmation that the groundwater is not migrating past the Sentinel wells located at the eastern property boundary, so they are beginning monthly sampling of this smaller subset of wells along the east side beginning this month. The site restoration activities are well underway with the goal of finishing by early October. The site will be returned to the original surface topography so that water drains properly and seeded with a buckwheat or rye so vegetation can be established this growing season to minimize erosion damage. And once site restoration activities are done, a new permanent well will be installed in the center of the former excavation area and sampled for analytical testing. And at the current pace, it is not likely that a remediation system will be installed and operational until December of this year or later. So when the next formal report is received from Merit, Trustee Germain will forward a copy to the township for posting on our website, and also provide one to Highland Township, who is keeping their residents informed as well. Again, please address any comments or questions to Trustee Germain, and his contact information is available on our website.
Thanks for that update, and thanks to Matt for putting that together. He just did that before he was leaving this afternoon. I didn't have any report. Anything else for this portion of the meeting? Any other comments? We'll take a brief recess, and then we'll go into our information discussion and manager's report.